All right, Cannington Agency, thank you once again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think I've got everybody, so we're going to go ahead and get started. If you don't know, my name is Bruce Leali. I'm one of the regional directors for the corporate office, and Brian and I had gotten a lot of really good discussions about what we're doing well and what are some areas of opportunity that we can continuously pour into the agency when it comes to development and continuing the growth. Because I'll tell you, we've got a lot of really good things going on, a lot of good momentum. We're seeing a lot more activity, a lot more decision makers being met. So, nothing better than to start dialing in on where the constraint is. And right now it's DM conversion. Our goal is to get this percentage to 33% DM conversion or greater. So for those of you that are reviewing your numbers on a daily basis, I want to strive to keep this in front of you. 33% of the DMs that you're meeting, we want to continue to strive for how to get to 33% or greater. Now, that has a big part to play in the other parts of the business when it comes to presentations and appointments being set and closes that are happening, and of course the enrollments that are taking place. So listen, this is not something that we're going to be, again, just overlooking. So let's get started. A couple of things I want everybody to remember when it comes to development. Okay, we heard a lot about two things. Okay, inspect what you expect, and you also got trust but verify. Okay, here's another way of putting it: you get what you inspect, not what you expect. Right? A lot of us could be going out of the field and expecting the results to come up and take it to the next level, but are we taking the time to inspect our skill set? All right. As everyone on the call, you are a business owner, so it's critical for you to be inspecting your processes just like any other leader in a business would. And so let's break it down into a few steps. So when it comes to converting decision makers, you have to be well aware of what those steps consist of. Number one is preparation. Number two, are you building rapport using that research? Number three, are you utilizing the scripts according to plan, right? Look, I'm not saying you can't necessarily change lanes. I'm asking you not to get off the highway, right? We know where we need to be. So when it comes to utilizing the scripts, we know they work. You can add yourself into it, make it sound amazing, but let's make sure we're staying on the same page there. Number four, tying down, right? Asking for the next step of the process is critical. So we want to make sure that we're continuously dialing in on asking, right? You don't GET unless you ASK. I know a few of you have heard me say that before. You don't get unless you ask. So you want to make sure that you're always asking for the next step. And then lastly, handling those objections. And then from there, tying it down when you're asking or when you're handling those objections. So it's super critical to be going down this reflection period and identifying what steps am I doing well, right? Give yourself credit, give yourself praise for what you're doing well, but then what can we continuously use some development on, and write those down and get them in front of your leadership team. So let's take a look at some best practices. We got these things moving in the right direction. All right, so number one, have dates ready. Come on. Every morning, right? Every morning you should be looking at your 10 blocks of time, taking a look at what your next couple of days are going to look like. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Business owners like it when a professional gets in front of them and knows their schedule. That's one of the first things I've listed here, because there's so many times where we go in and we try to get to the next step of the process and we don't have dates ready. And it makes it harder for this business owner to make a decision. And they're going to give you the easiest response possible, like send me an email, or I'm not interested. Oh, we're good, right? You want to make sure you got those dates ready. Look for the same day, same week appointment opportunities. Those are going to be critical. You want momentum in your favor, and those are big points to make when you're trying to get this to work in your favor. All right, so now a couple of other best practices when converting business owners or decision makers. You want to observe the environment. Observe the environment, right? Sometimes we get in places that, reading the room is going to be critical. Understanding what's going on. Reading the decision maker's body language. They could be coming in from the warehouse sweating, breathing heavily, lots of things going on, but giving yourself that level of observation and being able to know that that's what's going on will help you tremendously. Next, we've got mirroring the decision maker, okay? Mirroring the decision maker, relaxed, right? If they're coming out, they're leaning up on the gatekeeper's desk. lean up on the gatekeeper's desk one. I've seen it happen time and time again, but that's going to give you a lot of really good ways of psychologically building that level of impact and resonating better with that decision maker. And then lastly, open-ended questions. Okay. Open-ended questions. These are going to be, I'm going to go a little bit more in detail what that means, but let's go ahead and go into rapport using research, right? So you've got your very basic, everyone says, hey, you need to do research. Okay. You need to do research. It's not the research we have the biggest challenge on. The challenge that we're finding is that we don't know how to transition in and out of the research that we did, right? So here's just a good way that I've been able to utilize the research is, hi, good morning, John. My name is Bruce, and I did a little bit of research prior to coming in, and this is what I found, right? Tell me more about this, right? Hey, I did my homework, right? I did my homework prior to coming in, and I noticed that you're working on a new project. I see that you said that it's going to be done in 2026. Pretty exciting. What inspired that? So making sure that you have a transition into the research. So you're not just saying, hey, John, I saw that you guys were started in 1989. My name is Bruce. I'm with Globe Life. I saw that you may qualify for Liberty. It's just, you have to make sure that these transitions are as human as possible. So make sure you're getting that down, right? Of course, understanding why we do it is key. So remember, rapport building is something that allows the DM to like and trust you. Those are critical. These, again, are super. I don't want to assume that we don't or know this or don't know this, but I wanted to make this a refresher for you because, that's what we're in business for, right? Is to be someone that they know they can trust. Okay, so a couple of things now. So let's take a look at how this all transpires, right? So when I'm coming in and I'm meeting the decision maker, I'm going to go in and say, hey, Brian, my name is Bruce, and I did some research prior to coming in, and I found out that you're a sponsor for the local Boys and Girls Club here in town. What are some of the new developments that you've got going on and that you're going to be aiming to accomplish this year, right? Think about that for just a moment. Would you agree that that sounds a little bit more interesting, right? Like you're really interested in what they've got going on, right? So aside from just delivering the fact that, hey, I saw that you were part of the local Boys and Girls Club, what are some of the things you're looking to, accomplish this year? Aside from that, you're starting to, I want you to write this down. In order to come across as interesting, you must show that you are interested. Okay. If you want to be coming across to these business owners as interesting, like they have interest in you, you need to make sure that you're showing that you're interested in what has been taking care of them and their family for decades, right? So it's super and critical that this is something we don't take lightly, right? We come in as a professional and we deliver with the research. It just makes everything really come off the page, right? What makes us different from other companies? We train our professionals to really take an interest in how this business operates, and it allows them to really make an impact on asking for the next step of the process. Okay. Now, as you noticed, not only did I transition into my research, but I followed it up with what we call an open-ended question. Okay. Open-ended. I didn't just say, hey, this is what I know you're about, right? I asked about a question that, of course, creates a conversation to make that interaction awesome, right? That makes the interaction something that they can get a better understanding of, can I trust this person? And a lot of the times when you show that you're interested, okay, you ask a good question to get a good conversation, you're more likely to be likable and trustworthy. Some basic essentials, but create massive results. Let's not forget that. So let's talk a little bit more about open-ended questions. Just to give you all the definition of what this means, it's an open-ended question is a question that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no response or with a static response. Open-ended questions are phrased as a statement which require a more elaborate response, right? If I asked you, hey, how's your day going? Oh, it's all right. Oh, it's good. Hey, tell me more about your day. What are some of the highlights, right? What are some of the highlights? Open-ended question, right? Compared to how's your day? You want to get better interaction? These open-ended questions are critical to really getting these DMs to open up and getting something on the calendar, getting something on the spot. You want to get more out of your days? You got to make sure we're taking this research to the next level and really having them see that you're somebody that takes an interest in their business and their operations. And then that's how partnerships begin. right? That's how partnerships begin, okay? Just to let you all know a little bit more about the open-ended question factor is these questions start with who, what, why, where, or how, because it helps create a conversation. John, I was actually doing some research. I noticed that you've gotten great Google reviews here in the area. It says you're a pretty big staple here. What are some of the things you do to create that culture here in your business? What are some of the things you do to create this kind of culture in your business? Right? Those are the questions that a business owner likes to be asked because it's relevant to what they do and what they're focused on, right? I know a lot of the times, and let me give you something here, and I need you to know this, okay? We go in trying to build research off of observation. Everybody does that because it's easy. Everybody does that. So you're not the you're not the only person to talk about that award on the wall or the plants in the office. And so you're not really putting yourself in a position to have a conversation that's going to set you apart. So listen, if you're doing this, great, right? I'm proud of you. Great job. Don't stop. If you're not doing this, listen, no place better to start than now, right? So it's not that you've been doing it wrong. We haven't been inspecting it. We haven't been inspecting it. So let's make sure we're dialing in over these next several days and let's get our business to continue to grow, okay? All right, now let's talk a little bit more about what the next step of the process is. We talked about really getting into the 30-second commercial. We've built some rapport, right? Well, first we got our preparation in, right? We got the research. We built that rapport. We asked some open-ended questions, right? Now it's really now again, John, my name is Bruce. I'm with Globe Life. We saw that you may qualify for our Worksite Advantage program. And what that does is it helps business owners like you provide some valuable benefits to your staff while creating a tax benefit to the company. It's at no cost to the business. I realize you may be busy. Is now a good time? Now I'm transitioning again, right? So John, always start with their first name. Use their name as much as possible. I'm going to give you that one too. Use their name as much as possible. John, it's good to see you this morning. Hey, you must be John, right? So when the DM comes out, right, start off the interaction with John. Hey, you must be John, right? John? Awesome, man. Hey, listen, my name is Bruce, and this is Jenny. We actually did some research prior to coming in and saw that you're actually the leading provider for a certain material here in the given, as a main vendor. How do you maintain efficiency in today's market? Whoa, come on, baby. How do you maintain efficiency in today's market, right? So here's what I'm trying to provide for you is when you lean on this process, the questions that you start to ask become more valuable, okay? Become more valuable. And so a lot of this they're small changes, right? Small enhancements, but they make big things happen, okay? So when I'm going through this, right? So now I've showed you how to be, the preparation. We talked about making sure that you've got, the research, it's important to have the transition in there, how to deliver it, but follow it up with an open-ended question. You want to have a great conversation. Now, when I'm done, I'm going to go straight into utilizing the DM's name again. John, again, my name is Bruce, and I'm with Globe Life Liberty National Division. We actually saw that you may qualify for our Worksite Advantage program. It helps small business owners provide valuable benefits to their employees while ultimately help save on some payroll taxes at no cost to the business. Now, I realize you may be busy, but maybe step into your office. That's how the transition is going to start to go, but we have to make sure that we're inspecting what are we doing well and what could we do better, okay? All right, so taking a look a little bit more into this aspect of a couple of other tie downs you could utilize is, now, John, it only takes a few minutes to go over, is that, maybe step into your office. I realize you may be busy. Is now a good time? Again, I know some people use a different multitude, but you've got to make sure you're asking. You're never going to be able to get to the next step of the sales process if you're not using the tie down, okay? If you're not using the tie down. For those of you, of course, we've got some new faces in here. We've got some veterans in the house. I do want to point out, we do this when we pack call, okay? Whenever I'm going in on a pack call and I'm saying, hey, John, I've got you. Hey, I'm actually updating some of our local business records for the area. I've got you down at 1309 East South Street. Are you still located there? Okay, wonderful. They asked me a question. right? What is this regarding? We're just updating our public business records for last year. Do you guys still have about 25 employees, right? I'm following it up and I'm tying it down by asking another question, right? So by asking the tie down, you're getting it to proceed in the direction you're looking for. Same thing with gatekeepers, right? When they ask me, did you have an appointment? I just needed to speak to them directly, please. Would you let them know that Bruce is here? Would you let them know that Bruce is here? That's my tie down, right? So make sure you're using the tie down. It's going to get you a lot more results getting out there in the field. Let's get some insight on objections, because I think sometimes people really get, we don't quite know what objections are. I know sometimes we feel, oh, they just weren't interested, whatever it may be. But let's take a look at the definition. An objection is an expression or feeling of disapproval or opposition, a reason for disagreeing. Okay, that's what's in the dictionary. Let me give you a better one. An objection is not rejection, but rather a request for more information. Okay, you're not getting an objection because they just want more information, right? We talked about this before, is if they tell you they're not interested, they're asking you for information why they should be interested. Hey, we tried this before. I've already got benefits. When you hear those things, I want you to think, provide me with information that makes me understand, that makes you different. Why should we go with you, right? So remember, objection is not a rejection. It is a request for more information. So now let's talk about, of course, the basic 9 common objections. And we're going to talk about a couple of things that you want. We've got the I'm not interested, right? We get this pretty frequently, right? Pretty easy one. I don't want to say that, look, doesn't mean it's a burned bridge, but I do want to let y'all know that, keeping this as the follow-up. We talked about the 5-step follow-up in the past, right? What is the real objection? Go back in those. Use the 5-step follow-up. Find the real objection. All right. Is this like Aflac? Is this like Colonial? Is this like whoever it may be? I don't have time. No worries. Send me an email. My employees wouldn't be interested. We've tried this before. We already have benefits. My employees can't afford it. We're currently doing this, right? So let me talk to you about mastering these scripts and why they're important. Okay. There's 3 parts to mastering a script. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, okay, Bruce, so how does this help me convert more DMs? Okay. Number 1, we're dealing with people. Okay. We're dealing with people. And when you're dealing with people, everything matters. Everything matters, right? So when you're talking about how you say it, what you say, how you say it, all of these things are super vital. So let's talk about the 3 parts. So in order for you to really get a good delivery, right, you need step number 1, and this is where most people get to, right? Memorizing the words. Okay. Very entry level when it comes to delivery. But to get your game to the next level, you got to make sure you memorize and understand the punctuation. Okay. Boom. Taking it next level. Why? The punctuation gives me an opportunity to understand where would be a good place to pause. Okay. When these scripts are published, there's someone that goes in and, of course, edits everything, make sure the punctuation's correct. So just making sure you understand where the punctuation is in the sentence or in the script allows you to really get a good understanding for step 3, which is the delivery of your voice inflection, right? Where there's a comma, there's a brief pause or a brief opportunity to add some inflection, right? Tonality, critical, right? This is what creates people to really get a better, how can I get the best version of this agent? Well, do they know how to deliver the scripts, right? So this is going to be critical. So do we have the words memorized? If you do, have you taken time to really get that punctuation down? Do you know where the pauses should be? Where the inflection should really show at no cost, right? We saw that you may actually qualify for our Worksite Advantage program, John. Now, the exciting thing about that is it helps small business owners provide valuable benefits to employees while creating tax savings at no cost to the business owner, right? Some really good emphasis there, right? So that you can, of course, get that solid delivery to these business owners and have a really good inflection, right? And so you can then become a little bit more like the client you're speaking with, all right? So now that we understand, the keys to mastering a script and the phases you really got to go into, ask yourself, where am I at? Do I just have the words memorized? Do I have the punctuation pretty down? Maybe taking it to the next level and really getting those inflection points in there. Okay. So let's kind of recap this, because I know we're talking about a lot of really good things, but I want to make sure that everybody doesn't lose track of this. We talked about number one, you need to make sure that you understand that you get what you inspect, not what you expect. Okay. You get what you inspect. So a lot of us are expecting the results, but we're not getting the inspection as business owners to help elevate our business. So what we broke down the steps, right? You got preparation, rapport using research, intro to DM per script. We got the tie down. Are we handling the objections, and are we tying down after? Out of those 6 steps, which ones are you doing well in, and what could we be doing better? Okay. Following that, we talked about making sure that you've got the transitions, right, of the research. We've got people doing research, but it's not about the research that's lacking. It's the delivery. All right. How do we go into it? How do we go out of it? And how do we get into the 30-second commercial? And then from the 30-second commercial, right, or the research, are we asking open-ended questions, right? Are you coming across as someone that's truly interested in their business operations? Because we're looking to partner with these professional business owners. Why would I not show interest in what we've got going on? So anyway, right, in order for you to come across as interesting, you got to show that you're interested. We talked about that. We also talked about making sure that you're going in and you're tying down, right? You need to make sure you're asking for the next step of the sales process. And then following that, we really started talking about the objections, right? Everybody, I've got people that are telling me, I got my objections down. I got them down. I got them down like nothing, right? Like nobody's business. Okay. Have you taken time to really listen to yourself? All right, listen, and listen, I'm not saying this isn't a gotcha. I'm not saying really be hard on yourself for this, but it's actually eye-opening. Like, no, I actually haven't, right? I haven't really taken time to really take a look at my craft and what I'm doing here. And that's actually what 95% of sales professionals lack. They don't go in and they don't inspect what they sound like when they say certain things, and then make those minor adjustments to create some massive results. All right. So now that I've recapped everything we've got into, how do I maintain this? How do I keep a level of performance that will maintain my business and have me closing accounts week over week, month over month, quarter over quarter, and year over year? Okay. So number one, right, making sure you've got a good role playing routine, right? You can never be too good to role play. I don't care if you've been with us a month, a year, 10 years. Role play will always be an essential, right? You got these athletes that are high paid professionals that still go out in the field every day and practice how to catch a football, how to dribble, how to pass, how to shoot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change for us. We're professionals as well. So we've got to make sure that we're performing like it. And a lot of this is, a couple of things I want to, and I've got some people on the call that are probably like, where do I find time to do it? How do I get it done? Right now, you've got time in between walk-ins to role play. It becomes muscle memory. You can role play with yourself. Would you let John know that Bruce is here to see him? Thank you. I just need to speak to him directly. Right? So now listen, nobody's in the car with me, but I still go through that process to really get that role play process in. All right. Another part you can do, right, is go over scripts, right? Let's say, I've had I have crazy weeks. I've got crazy days. Listen, get 30-minute sessions every day, every other day, right? To really role play on whatever script you're trying to develop. Is it the 30-second commercial? Is it it could be your presentation, your closing statement, right? These are critical to really maintaining a level of performance. I've got people, something else I want to provide to you is there's a difference between efficiency and effectiveness, okay? Efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency is the number of walk-ins that you can get into in a time frame, right? So let's say we've got 8 hours in a day. I'm able to go in and hit 30 walk-ins. That says I'm efficient. But if I go in and I hit 30 walk-ins and I only get 10% DMs met and I only get 5% DM conversion and no presentations, what am I lacking? Effectiveness, right? So you want to make sure is when you're looking at your numbers, okay, and you're trying to find out, okay, where's the balance here? You want to make sure, do I got the efficiency? If I do, great. What does my effectiveness look like? So right now as an agency, that's why we're talking about how do we increase effectiveness in the DM conversion area, and how we're going to do this and how we're going to maintain it is role play routines. Do you have role play between stops? Do you have role play 30 minutes before your day starts, 30 minutes after your day starts, right? These are going to be critical to maintain a solid skill set. All right, so now let's really talk a little bit more about what to expect, okay? What's in it for you? What are you going to get from all of this? Number one, you're going to have better opportunities of being yourself out there in the field. That's powerful. I want to be in a field of work where I can go out there and I can, of course, lean on a process and be myself and have a blast, all right? Because I want every one of you to have a fun time when going out there, because it really is. Believe me, this business is so fun. You got a lot of good clients, a lot of good people out there that need your help. But a lot of this, you know, we've got people that are still a little constricted by don't know what to say, how to say it, right? So make sure you're getting those scripts down and give yourself that opportunity to unlock that superpower of yours, okay? Number two, you're going to get better at listening, right? You're going to get better at looking for some good things to talk about, right? Better listening skills allows you to be able to have better responses, right? You're going to be a better observer, better way. You could be listening because you don't have to worry about what to say. Okay, you're going to be better at doing all of these other areas. You have a lot of really good skills, but what could be stopping you is something very small. All right, you're also going to be better at responding, like I mentioned earlier. Your body language is going to be stronger. You're going to be in there being yourself, listening effectively, being able to observe well, and not only that, but your body language is going to be more natural, right? I know I used to be one of those those guys that would have my hands in the pockets, walking up to a business. Not that that's bad, but it just, that's body language that shows. So for those of you that got the hands in the pockets when you're walking in, please just have them somewhere else other than in your pockets. You know, that way you have a little, you know, the body language screams confidence. But anyway, body language is going to be better. But overall, you're going to see greater results, baby. Come on. I know every one of you wants better results, because here's the deal. When you get better, everyone gets better, right? So we're going to keep sharpening ourselves. So let's recap, guys. Look, we talked about the steps, okay? Preparation all the way down through the making sure you're tying it down. Do you know what the steps are? Are you reflecting and inspecting? Because that is what you're going to get whenever you're really trying to grow your business. We talked about the best practices. Have those times ready, people. Come on. Business owners like it when you have your schedule down and you know what you're doing. So whenever you're going in and providing them with dates and times, you come across as professional and you make the decision-making easy. Think about that, okay? Making sure you're taking rapport building with the research serious, okay? As much as I love building rapport off of observation, the research is more intimate for this business owner, right? We know that, right? Please don't cut corners here. Give yourself the ammunition to really set yourself apart, and I promise you, you're going to have an amazing experience out there in the field. We talked about open-ended questions, right? Open-ended questions allow you to have more content, more density when you're talking to these business owners, which create trust, create likability. Okay, we talked about sticking to the script, right? Add yourself a little bit, add a couple of words here and there, but there's no need to really start to make some different changes that we really don't need. Again, and a lot of this is going to come from recording yourself, please, right? So, hey guys, if you're probably wondering, I'm on the script 100%, I'm still not getting results. Okay, record yourself. Say the script. What could you do better? Okay, is it perfect? Did you like it? Okay, no worries. I'm a guy that I used to not like listening to myself. When I get done, as a matter of fact, when I'm done with this recording, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it myself, and I still critique myself. How can I get better? What did I do well? What can I do better? And it's always sharpening my skill set. Objections, right? Making sure those are per script, right? Objections are not rejection, okay? Objections are just requests for more information. Did you provide everything? And if you didn't, go back a second, a third, fourth time with new information to help them make a new decision. We talked about the objections. We know what they are. Are you keeping them sharpened, though? We talked about mastering the scripts, right? 3 steps: memorizing the words, memorizing the punctuation, and then really getting that delivery in there, making it sound smooth, making it sound confident, whatever it may be according to your personality. All of that can be unlocked when you get those scripts down. And then, of course, we talked about maintenance, right? You got these NASCARs, you got these athletes that are operating at a high level, high rate of speed. These things still need maintenance, right? So we talked about making sure you've got a good role-playing routine, being a professional about building your craft and getting better at your skill set. That's something that's worth super big, I mean, big money, right? 6-figure worth of income. That's super critical, okay? And then, of course, we talked about the expectation. We talked about the expectation. Lots of good things that are going to come from this. I'm excited to see what we can accomplish. Just remember, our goal as an agency, 33% DM conversion. Stay dialed in, keep looking at your dashboards, and let's make sure that we are working together as a team on this, because we can't do it alone, team. So I do want to let you all know that again, you guys have access to me. So send a text, send an email, talk to your leadership. Get my number. Let's collaborate. Let's talk a little bit. What can we do to keep building your business forward? And on top of that, we're all going to be able to have a great time building this thing together. So guys, look, thank you so much for joining me today. This concludes our training. You guys have a wonderful Friday, and I'll talk to you all soon. God bless. See you, everyone.